It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard. You liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him. He feels compelled to try to act like us. He loses his identity and his racial anger, if he has any. He becomes alien to his brothers. They realize he sold them out, and they grow to hate him. He becomes worthless to them and safe for us. No, thank you. In fact, in his love for the creature comforts, except for his color, he's become one of us.
My name is Theo Broughton, and I am happy to be with you this morning. And I thank all of you for tuning in, and for those of you who stayed over, for staying over to join us with Feedback, your feedback. Feedback is a positive image production by Hood Research. I want to thank all of you who helped to sponsor this program for helping to do so. And for those of you who are interested in sponsoring or joining Hood Research, please know that we have a P.O. Box, which is Hood Research, P.O. Box 4416, Detroit, Michigan 48204. Again, that's Hood Research at P.O. Box 4416, Detroit, Michigan 48204. I'd like to say good morning to Vera and Barbara. Good morning to Gladys and to Claire. Good morning to Jay. Good morning to a lady I met, Carolyn. Good morning to Ron and to Tom and Roy. And to all of you who tune in each week, I want to thank you so much for participating with Hood Research. And as you know, this is a very, very, very business and busy and political few days that are upon us now. And it's interesting that the past few days there was also an issue with the election that is going on among our two leading candidates. That would be Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And it seems that because the head of the FBI has come across some additional emails, that he felt that he had to let Congress know, because if he didn't, Congress was going to be mad at him. So he told Congress that he found these emails that, well, they were on the server of Hillary's assistant, not on Hillary's server, but the assistant server. And what do I do? Oh, I must tell the members of Congress. So he did. And after that, of course, it got into the media. And in the media, then Donald Trump got hold to it. And he's been ranting and raving and ranting and raving about how Hillary Clinton is wrong. And we need to put her in jail. Never mind that you're supposedly innocent until proven guilty. Well, before I say any more about that, I just want to let you know that my co-host is with me.
Welcome to the program.
And anybody you want to say good morning to?
Yes, I'd like to say hi to Valerie. She's a faithful watcher. Also Cheryl D., Renee. Wow, there's so many of you guys out there.
The list is expanding. It truly is expanding.
Yes, Brother Fred, Brother Smith Bay. These are very dedicated people. Sister Ruth, and we appreciate you. Sister Jackie over there in Northwest Detroit. Sister Sheila over in Northwest Detroit. We appreciate you. And again, I always ask you to have your family, neighbors, friends, co-workers tune in, because there's always valuable information. And have pen and paper ready as well for any information you may want to record.
Absolutely. And may want to record a couple of numbers that were given to me over the weekend as well. Now, as it relates to Donald Trump and his ranting and raving, again, we have more than one party that enters into the political season. And it's interesting that there's always conversation about, oh, we need another party. We don't need it two together. Well, they just dominate and all of this. But it only comes up during the political season when they have not, it appears to me, have not accumulated enough dollars to compete. You just have to wonder sometimes if maybe the Green Party, the Socialist Party, the Tax Party, the Libertarian Party, and all of the other parties out there that want to be in the fray couldn't come together and accumulate some dollars to compete. It has been said that it takes $1 billion to run for President of the United States. Maybe, maybe not. Donald Trump has done well because the media seemed to have loved him in the beginning. And whatever he said, they were right there, Johnny on the spot, to film it. He got a lot of press to the chagrin of the other candidates. I guess 16 other candidates who also wanted to represent their party. And Donald Trump, the master that he is of putting on a show, which is what it appears to be, was able to get the media to just run to him. They were at his beck and call, whatever it was. Then one day, the debates began, and first debate, he did not seem prepared, and he was sniffing as if he had some kind of substance. And then the second debate, he decided that he was going to bring some women. He paid some women to come to the debate, sit down front row. These are women that Bill Clinton had affairs with. But it seems that somewhere along the line, he didn't take into account that Bill Clinton is not running for president. It's Hillary Clinton who is the candidate for president of these United States on the Democratic Party ballot. So, after that debate was over and he was grandstanding and thinking that he had done a good thing by bringing these women in, sitting in the front row and trying to embarrass Hillary Clinton, she held her own. It was on. The gauntlet was there. And after that, there seemed to be woman after woman after woman after woman stepping out, stepping up, and talking about the lewd remarks, the sexist treatment, the nasty atmosphere and attitude of Donald Trump to woman after woman after woman. And he had the nerve to touch them in their genitals and breasts and even grab them and force a kiss on them, none of which was invited by woman after woman who came out to say, this man wants his way and no other way, and he appears to be that way with everything. It seems that he would be more interested in his lewd acts than in having any ability to run the United States government. There are those who are waffling back and forth. And I had a few calls over the past few days, and people who have said, you know what I think? When people vacillate, saying that they are leaning towards him as President of these United States, 99.9% of them are men, or males, shall we say. The callers that I had discussions with are saying now, it's because they do not want a woman as president of these United States. And I agree with that. Those who are not vacillating, but they support the candidate who is sadly representing the Republican Party, they do not want a woman as president of these United States. So, women, you need to step up and show that a woman can run these United States, as we have had women around the world running governments. One of the longest lasting women I can think of at the moment is the one who was over there in Europe, Margaret Thatcher. And someone told me, maybe you can look it up, there was a black woman in Canada who was in charge, Prime Minister in Canada. This has been some time back, of course. And in Africa, we have women who are in charge of the government. We have a woman who was elected recently president. So women can and do and have run governments. It's just the males in these United States, perhaps Klan members, perhaps chauvinists, perhaps just males who are scared, just scared, and don't want a woman to run the United States of America. But women, I appeal to you that between now and November the 8th, you should talk to people in your family, your friends, your co-workers, class members, church members, and make a day of it. Get together, go to vote, then go to breakfast, or go to vote, then go to lunch, or go to dinner, go to vote. The polls will be open until 8 p.m. And there's been a caller who has called into a few shows here and there and has indicated that he's trying to find himself on the voting rolls. Well, for those of you who want to confirm whether or not you are on the voting rolls, call the Election Commission at 876-0190. It's a 313 number, 876-0190. And ask them to check your name and your address and let you know if your precinct has been relocated. During the primary, there were some people who didn't know that their precinct had been shut down and they had been relocated to another voting site. Again, that number is 313-876-0190. Confirm your voting location. I had a call from our field representative in Lansing that Elizabeth Warren, who is a United States Senator, is fighting to get the proposal through during this lame duck session for Social Security recipients to get a one-time check. It's supposed to be in the neighborhood of $500. And she gave me a number for people to call the Capitol and encourage the senators and call your members of Congress, ask them to pass this legislation for the one-time check for Social Security recipients. And that number is 202-225-3121. Again, the number is area code 202-225-3121. And encourage them to pass this particular legislation. It has been reported that there is supposed to be a cost of living increase. However, this separate request for the legislation is a one-time check, and she says that it's around $500. So you have that number. The beating.
Lines, yes. Lines are full.
Okay. line. We'll take a call, and I'll continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name, how you're viewing us, and what city, please?
This is Steve. I'm watching you on Comcast 91.
Comcast 91, but I didn't hear your name, and you have to speak
Steve.
up.
Steve.
Hello?
This is Steve.
Can't hear.
You-
Well,
you-
call us back again. Go
You
to
seem
the
to have a
next
bad connection.
Yeah.
Please try to call back. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name, how you're viewing us, what city, please? Okay, that person hung
Try
up.
to try to stay. There's listening.
Okay, we don't have
Okay,
anyone
now
there.
the next concern happens to be the ballot issues. There are 4 ballot issues, as you may know by now. And do you by any chance have the ballot issues?
Actually, I don't, but I have the
On the paper?
your election connection, which I
Oh,
believe
okay.
has them. Yes.
The information in there? Oh,
Yes.
okay. So if you wouldn't mind reading them,
Okay.
there are 4 of them,
Okay.
just one at a time, you know.
Proposal A, authorizing the Regional Transit Authority of Southeast Michigan, which is RTA, to levy an assessment. The proposal would authorize the Regional Transit Authority of Southeast Michigan, RTA, to levy within Macomb, Oakland, Washtenaw, and Wayne counties a property tax assessment at a rate of 1.2 mils, which is $1.20 per $1,000 of taxable value, for 20 years beginning in 2016 and ending in 2035. That may not be increased, renewed, or used for other purposes without direct voter approval, and to be used upon the affirmative vote of an RTA board member from each RTA member jurisdiction for the purpose of construction and operation of a public transportation system connecting Macomb, Oakland, Washtenaw, and Wayne counties, including rapid transit bus routes across county lines, specialized service for senior citizens and people with disabilities, commuter rail, airport express service, and other public transportation purposes permitted by law, consistent with RTA bylaws, and subject to the limitations of the Regional Transit Authority Act. If this new additional assessment is approved and levied, revenue will be dispersed to the RTA. It is estimated that $160,907,285 will be collected in the first year. Should this assessment be approved?
I say no, but it's interesting that when you started, you said proposal A. Does it say that at the time?
No, I apologize. It says a proposal. I just switched it and said proposal. It's a proposal.
Oh, a proposal. Okay. All right. Because the RTA Regional Transit Authority, in my opinion, is a trick. And I say that because, first of all, those who are building the little toy train and the tracks down Woodward Avenue from the river up to the boulevard do not, I repeat, they do not service this community. Number 2, the Regional Transit Authority is no different than the privatization of DPW, the Department of Public Works. When it was turned over to Rizzo, a company on the east side of the city, which has since been purchased by a Canadian company that's making a profit off of the little people in Detroit, and Advance, which services the west side, when it was privatized, and I never had any problem with my garbage pickup, and neither does anybody else I've talked to since then. The trucks, the garbage trucks, which were fitted with blades for snow removal during the hard times in the winter, were sold, S-O-L-D. So if the council and the mayor decided that they no longer wanted the services of Rizzo and Advance, I think our garbage would be piling up because we no longer have garbage trucks, nor garbage trucks with snow blades on the front. What an interesting trick to play on somebody. What do you think?
Well,
Yeah.
one of the things for sure is that the RTA is set up where the DDOT bus drivers will not be given the same fair wages as those who are outside the community. For me, that's a big no-no.
Absolutely. Even and I'm glad you mentioned that because currently The smart drivers are making more than the DDOT drivers are today. And I talked to a man who was on the board of the RTA. There are 10 of us, he said, and we are volunteering. I said, really? I said, but don't you have some people who are getting paid? Oh, yes. Oh, they have a staff of 5 people. So they have created another level of bureaucrats who are going to get paid. And for those of you who understand that a levy is a tax, a millage is a tax obviously is a tax, they are taking money out of your pocket. And this little train is not servicing the neighborhood. Right now, as we sit here talking to you, there could be cooperation between the 4 counties where the bus service can continue. And in the past, DDOT did service. It was DSR at the time. It serviced outside of the city of Detroit. It serviced outside of the city of Detroit. But guess what? It was stopped over time because the suburbanites don't want your out there. You can fill in the blank for yourself. So now all of a sudden, because the fat cats are running out of money for the little toy train, they want us to finance it. Finance it. To 2035. And supposedly they want to extend the toy train even farther. They could have done that in the beginning. I don't have anything against rapid transportation. I do have something against the fat cats who want to use this community. And that's exactly what they're doing. The definition of the word authority is a private group of people taking your public tax dollars and servicing their personal friends. Their personal friends. Whenever you hear about an abatement, a tax abatement, that means, once again, the fat cats want not to pay taxes. Guess what? We are building an arena for you right here in the city of Detroit. But they're not going to pay taxes for God knows how many years. There's your tax dollars that you won't be receiving while they build this arena downtown. Authority, a private group of people who use your public tax dollars to service their personal friends. In 1973, a man by the name of Coleman Young was elected to become the mayor of the city of Detroit. And you remember when a man by the name of Barack Obama was elected president of these United States? You then heard about a meeting that took place on the day of his inauguration, not far from the site. And they were plotting and planning and determined, because of the hatred for this black man, not to let him do positive things for all of the United States of America. We didn't have the kind of media in 1973 that we do now. But at the time that Coleman Young was elected mayor of the city of Detroit, there was the same kind of hatred for him as a black man, being mayor over the largest city in the state of Michigan, a city that was established prior to the mitten becoming a state. And they were determined that they were going to fight against him with everything within them. He took his seat in 1974. And shortly after that, voila, pops up an authority. An authority, you say? Oh, yes. A building authority. What an authority does is it takes power away from the mayor and the council. And not long after that, in 1978, up pops another authority. An authority that takes power away from the mayor and the council. That authority in 1978 was the Downtown Development Authority. You know, we used to hear about DD Days, you know, and there was a big splash downtown. You could go down and you could get savings. You could shop at Hudson's and Crowley's and Kinsel's and all of these businesses downtown. But perhaps it was a mask for the Downtown Development Authority. The boundaries of this authority were established from the river on the south to 375 on the north to I-75 on the east and a large freeway, which is M10, on the west. A lot of commercial property right in there, don't you think? Taxes that went to the Downtown Development Authority and were used, our public tax dollars, for their personal friends who were the fat cats who wanted to do this and that and build here and there and not pay taxes. Taxes that could have been used throughout the whole city, throughout the neighborhoods where we live. And I tell you that this Regional Transit Authority is going to take additional power from the mayor and the council so that they can do as they damn well please. It has been said about how the value of the property increases with the line of transportation. I say that they can come up with regional transportation with the buses for now, because the taxes have not been used to redevelop the neighborhoods. Taxes have not been used to increase security for the neighborhoods. But downtown and midtown has security. Not that nothing ever happens or couldn't happen, but it hasn't been happening in midtown and downtown the way it has happened in the neighborhoods. I say that if you vote for the regional transportation, you are doing yourself and the rest of the city of Detroit a disservice at this time. Remember, an authority is a private group of people who use our public tax dollars for their personal friends. Okay. You take a call?
Yes.
No problem.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name, how you're viewing us, what city, and a comment or a question, please? Hello, caller. You're on the air.
This is Kurt. How you doing this morning?
We can hear you. Your name?
It's Kurt.
Kurt?
I'm calling for. I'm seeing you, watching you on channel 33 in Detroit.
I
You
can't.
know what? The women,
I can't
they're
understand.
eventually going to get the revenge on Donald Trump.
Women want to get
Because he's
revenge
going
on
to be the
Donald
only
Trump.
man.
You say women want
Yeah,
to get
because he's going to be the only man who's going to be defeated by a woman as running for president of the United States. So that'll be the greatest thing that they can receive, you know, and revenge for all of these evil things and all this little grabbing on girls. That would be the greatest payback
Yes.
for him. But as far as what they're doing here in the city of Detroit, these people are straight up gangsters. They act no different than ISIS. What's the difference between ISIS and what the Snyder administration is doing? What is the difference?
Difference.
You know, we're talking about, when you say authority, you're talking about really a dictator.
Yes.
You're going to dictate to us what we want. You understand? You're not going to allow us to have any part of how our lives are ran, how our children are taught. I'm more angry at the fact that they teach our children lies. I'm mad about that
Yeah.
more than anything else in the world.
I
They've
agree.
been doing it,
I agree.
and they want you to okay it for them to continue
Yes.
to do it.
Absolutely.
I understood why Kaepernick didn't salute and stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't think nothing is wrong with the Pledge of Allegiance, but what I'm saying is that if I'm not receiving the rights under this flag, why should I be standing up and pledging allegiance to it? You're not giving me the rights that you say all of us should have.
Yes.
You know, so no, I'm not standing up for the flag because, you know, I'm not going to keep telling you, you denying me of my rights. You know you're denying me of my rights. It's like this governor. and this mayor here, right here in the city of Detroit, denying us of our right. We said no EM, and you brought them up in here anyway. Do you know behind the EM is where all this other crapola came from?
Yes.
These people who are invested in the city of Detroit, they're just as guilty as Snyder. They are no different. And all of them knew what Snyder was getting ready to do and wanted to be a part of stealing this money that they stole from the city of Detroit in all shapes, form, or fashion. I mean, what area in the city that they didn't take money from? Name one. They took it from the retirees. You know, they're taking it from us taxpayers. They're taking it through utilities. I mean, it's consistent and constant. It's if we owe you something.
Right. Well,
I don't blame Miss Agnes for trying to fight for relief from taxes.
Yes.
You should give it to us.
Yep.
It is our tax dollars that held this place in place. You know, before you got here.
Right.
Well,
thank you.
Us blind.
Right.
Well,
thank you so much for that. And I'm glad that you brought up those points. We need to be concerned about the election on the 8th, and there is a concern about the long wait time and the voting time. So if there is someone who is in such a hurry, you can always start at the top of the ballot, and you will see that there is the ability to vote for everyone identified by a party, such as Democratic Party. If you want to vote for everyone who is indicated as a Democrat, you have the ability to do that at the very top of the ballot. And then, of course, we want to encourage you to vote for Judge Deborah Thomas and Judge Frank Szymanski. The two of them work together. They are not competing against one another. The Michigan State Supreme Court. Judge Deborah Thomas should have been endorsed with the last election for the Michigan Supreme Court judge. The person that they did endorse was not worthy, not capable, and just out the box. So she's currently in a nice resident right now for a few years. Deborah Thomas has been endorsed by the party, by the community, and those of us in the community knows her dedication. And I'm encouraging you to vote for Judge Deborah Thomas on November the 8th, or your absentee ballot for that matter, and Frank Szymanski, who is a team player with her. The second proposal, we take somebody else?
Yes.
Okay. No question, comment.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name, how you're viewing us, what city, and a question or comment, please?
Yeah, this is Kwame calling back. And,
yes, you're on a clear line now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I wanted to thank Theo for giving the number out for checking if your name is on the Michigan registration list.
Yes.
But I was thinking about the school system. I mean, you know, you're dealing with exploitation in many forms.
Yes.
It's like the only reason we exist to some people is to be exploited, you know. But I was thinking about the school system. The basic structure, the traditional structure was extremely powerful, although it was miseducational. When you add computers and the internet to it, it becomes extremely powerful. I remember Roger Shore. He worked for the city. His son was one of my computer students, and he came up to my class and he wanted to know what I was doing because his son started studying. And you know, this is the effect that computer programming, the internet, and that kind of thing has on students. It increases the motivation to study. Is basically intelligence itself, pure.
Right.
You have to be logical to work with computers.
And you know what else, Kwame? It also opens up the possibilities for additional careers. If our young people begin to realize that it's not just for computer games, and learn how to build one, make one, create apps, and do the coding, they will be open for well-paying careers.
What you just said is unlimited.
Yes.
And
good
so
word, unlimited.
it became obvious that it was necessary for them to take over the school system because
Cut off
would
the
take
competition.
the whole system to a whole different level. When you put the development, when you put computers and the traditional structure together, that would really change the whole game.
You're right.
That
And
was-
I want you to help me encourage people to register at Wayne County Community College because they do have a number of computer classes that are available now, and anybody 60 years or older can take the classes free. But our young people can go there and learn about the development in that area for careers, well-paying careers, which is what they're looking for. And the tuition at Wayne County Community College is less than the other educational facilities in the state. And you can do 2 years, get your associate's degree, and transfer wherever you want to around here to get your bachelor's, master's, etc. They even have that covered. But it's beneficial.
The thing is that they're keeping us from this development. Everybody else has this dual development going
That's
on,
right.
except black school district.
Don't want the competition, Kwame. Don't want the competition. But thank you so much for your input. And once again, for anyone who wants to check if your voting site has been relocated or if your name isn't on the rolls, call 313-876-0190. That's 876-0190.
And since we're dealing with the voting, also you can go, if you are, we were talking about computers, so if you have a computer, you can go to www.detroitmi.gov. Again, that's www.detroitmi.gov for information.
And also, we have 3 other ballot issues. Was somebody on the line still?
Yeah, they're full, but I can read one of the proposals.
Okay, the next proposal.
Okay.
Hold on, we'll be there.
City of Detroit, Proposal A, Petition Initiative Ordinance for Community Benefits Agreements. An initiative to enact an ordinance to amend Chapter 14 of the 1984 Detroit City Code, Community Development, by adding Article 12, titled Community Benefits, which consists of sections 14-12-1 through 14-12-7. To provide for the purpose and applicability of this article, to provide for definitions of terms used in this article, to require provision of community benefits and executed community benefits agreements for certain development projects seeking public support for investment above certain threshold levels, to provide for exemptions for applicability of the article, and to provide for penalties and enforcement of the article. Shall this ordinance be enacted?
Well, for the benefit of the community, we need to have say-so in the kinds of ways by which they use our taxes. Because these companies who want to come in and invest, the people are called developers. And for those who need some additional clarity, that's talking about men who come in, and women too, and want to have construction sites to build anything, arenas, nursing homes, stores, etc. And they don't want to pay taxes. They want to tear down, move out anybody and anything that's in their way. But if they're coming to a neighborhood near you, you should be able to have some say-so. In Proposal A, the threshold, as they call it, in which you would have some say-so, is $15 million. Now, if anyone comes in and they want to put up a strip mall or whatever else they want to put up, and they're spending a minimum of $15 million and up, then you should have some say-so. This has been said to be an enforceable agreement, and we hope that it will be. And if there are some amendments that need to be made on it, that can be accomplished as well. You know, it's not talked about much, but the council does have the ability to put ballot questions on more often than they ever do. And at this juncture, I do think that voting yes on Proposal A is beneficial for the community. And therefore, I say yes.
Okay, we're going to go to this next caller, and then we'll read the next proposal. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you give us your name, how you're viewing us, what city, and a question or comment, please?
Yes, I'm viewing you on channel 33 in Detroit.
Oh, good.
And my name is Jihad Muhammad.
Thank you for calling.
And as far as this election, Queen, good morning, my brother. As far as this election, we shouldn't allow ourselves to be hoodwinked and bamboozled again. We have to look at, understand that this whole thing is being set up. As far as this election, understand, this all been staged. When it comes to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, the whole setup was to elect Hillary to keep the agenda plan that is to exterminate billions of people on this planet. And so they didn't anticipate that Donald Trump would be such a strong runner, and it's been backfired on him. But we got to see the hand of God in all of this, or whatever. Black people here in America, we're the problem. There are over 50 million of us. America's over $20 trillion in debt, and it's steady growing. And when you talk about understand wickedness, it's to the core, and we act blind eye to it or whatever. When you think about the Clintons, if you mention the Clintons' name, if you go over to Haiti and mention the Clintons' name, you're subject to be killed because of the thievery that they went over there and stole from the Haitian people and whatnot. If you go over in Libya, where it was one of the most successful nations on the planet, Hillary Clinton, understand, was behind the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi, who actually, understand, was an individual, was a revolutionary, who basically, understand, had one of the most model countries on the planet. And he was trying to set up a world African, United States of Africa, and he tried to set up a bank that he can pull all those countries out of the debt of the IMF. Mm-hmm. America is nothing but still a colony of England. And so we as a people understand we are in the 7,000 year, and America's through. The book of Revelation say saints will be casting out Satans. And you're witnessing it today or whatever.
Okay, Jihad, stop. You mentioned Haiti, you mentioned Clinton, but you didn't mention Bush, because the two of them went to Haiti and misused the money that was given to them to use in Haiti. Who is it on November the 8th that you are recommending? We only have two candidates who are dominating this campaign right now. So who are you recommending that we vote for?
I've been voting for over 40 some years. And I don't care who sat in office in the black community down here in the ghetto.
No, stop.
We didn't know that there was even change made. So I think we should all boycott this election.
Oh,
that's my feeling. I'm not voting for either one of them.
Okay, well, thank you for your input.
Well, you know, even not voting, that's not going to stop them from becoming president of the United States. And if you don't vote for president, you're still dealing with the idea that there's still state, local elections. So if you decide to choose not to vote for president, there's still so many other things. Deborah Thomas for Supreme Court, Frank Chemansky. So, you know, that choice is a personal choice, and we can live with that.
Absolutely. It is his choice, but a abstinence from the election, I say, is a vote for Donald Trump, which is interesting.
Okay, we're going to read the third proposal, then we'll go to our next caller.
Okay.
Proposal B, City Council Initiative or Ordinance for Community Benefits Agreement. An initiative to enact the Detroit Community Benefits Ordinance proposed by the Detroit City Council to amend Chapter 14 of the City Code to add Division 12, Community benefits to require the city to establish and consult with neighborhood advisory councils in conjunction with certain large-scale projects involving city property or tax subsidies, to require development agreements between the city and the developers of such projects to incorporate the concerns of the neighborhood advisory councils to the extent feasible, to include certain other related provisions, and to establish that the ordinance is the comprehensive local law on the subject matter. Shall this ordinance be enacted?
It's interesting they put the word "if it's feasible" in there. That's crazy. But anyway, on proposal B, the threshold is $75 million. So, until a person comes in and is proposing to build something to the tune of 75 million or more, you need to shut up, sit down, and stay over there in the corner, out of the way of the fat cats. I say no to proposal B, because there are many projects, construction projects, before you get to 75 million. And the council president, I believe, mentioned approximately 20 of them. If you were to put this one in effect, you would have nothing to say about them. And there will be more projects under 75 million than over. So I say vote no on proposal B.
I'll add this quick footnote. Let's say a developer wants to develop something in the $70 million range. So, okay, they come under the threshold, but at the same time, if they decide in the future to further expand, then that means they can add another $10–15 million, but the city will not have, because of the initial investment of the developer, any say-so. So jobs, benefits, and other community advantages will not be a part of it. And I've worked for contractors over 25 years, and I've known contractors to come in at a lower bid, and then that bid goes up after the project has been started. So beware.
Oh, yeah. That's a real slick trick, and I don't know why the council would allow that, because if you agree to one contract, you should have to live with it. Next.
Okay, well, the last proposal, regional enhancement millage proposal. This is an intermediate school district. Pursuant to state law, the revenue raised by the proposed enhancement millage will be collected by the Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency and distributed to local public school districts within the boundaries of the Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency based on pupil membership count. Shall the limitation on the amount of ad valorem taxes which may be imposed on taxable property in the Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency, Michigan, to be increased by 2.0 mils, $2 per $1,000 of taxable value for a period of 6 years, 2016 to 2021, inclusive, as new additional millage to provide operating funds to enhance other state and local funding for local school district operating purposes. It is estimated that 2 mills would raise approximately $80 million when first levied in 2016. The revenue from this millage will be dispersed to the following school districts. Now, this is much too many school districts to announce, but I'll just include that Detroit Public Schools, Community District, and the school district of the city of Highland Park are also included in this.
And the district of some of those cities has been destroyed in the process. And it's interesting that there's not been a lot of publicity on this. And when you add $2 here, $1 there, 50 cents here, $3 there, you add up to a large amount of money on your property taxes. And the only way they can increase your taxes is if you approve it. I say no. We have 4 proposals. 3 of them are no, and proposal A is the only proposal that I recommend.
Let's wrap it up.
So I want to say that we'll be back next Monday to continue this, a day before election, of course. And if anybody wants to call Hood Research for any additional information, you can call area code 248-234-2371. Again, that's area code 248-234-2371. And as I always say, it's not necessary for you to know everything. What is necessary is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. We at Hood Research seek a lot of information to share with you, and we invite your information as well to help us all make better informed decisions. And this coming Thursday, there is a happy hour for Judge Deborah Thomas at Burt's. It's from 5 until 9. She will be there. You can touch her, talk to her, give her a love offering, and there's jazz afterwards. So that's this Thursday from 5 to 9 at Burt's Marketplace, 2727 Russell Street. Tabini.
If you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you're finished. Get out and vote.
All right, and stay tuned for Marley B.